Roots. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisition. See me, give me what you want. See me, give me what you want. Roots. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisition. See me, give me what you want. See me, give me what you want. Roots break through your inquisitions. Moorish I am to the last breath of me. I'm never worried cause my prince hold the legacy. For life status I'll forever be. Paint a perfect picture, frame the embassy. For the works uplifting humanity, I pray and you say sin. Save from the blasphemy. Man dying on the cross, you brave be asking me. Sign on the dotted line to upkeep your fallacy. We coming with the eyes wide open. Listen to the message. Drew Ali told them. The vanguard coming through the folding. Stand strong army, assume your positions. We're coming for the kill, my law inquisitions. Cause it's boom bye in the wide head. I said it's no remorse cause I'm plotting after dead. Straight shots blasting, active not passive. Break your bread with the loyal till blood shed on the soil. I'm asking, who's now ready for the war? Knocking at your front door. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want. See me, give me what you want. Building up a nation, no hesitation. Claiming our stance, moving out the plantations. My foot plant, northwest in the Mexum. Raw when I chant, revamp T-Rexum. Heart in the middle, chakra, balance. Hard more metal, iron on the map. Fall back, don't giggle. You might miss the point, red dot in the middle. Don't cry me a river. Drew Ali is the giver of salvation. Learn your books, don't quiver. Head sight up, knowledge, birthright bigger. Bigger than you thought, huh? Remember the ancestors who fought. Remember Haiti revolt. Remember the one still caught in the Willie Lynch syndrome. Claiming our dome from our home is the temple. Enlightenment, entitlement, Aquarian info. They think that I've been broke. I'm food for their market. Reincarnation, the Jews never lost it. I lost it. Time for reveal. Circle 7 seal. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. Yo, who this? I tried to tell me rights get left back. This them I tried this. I tell me if we accept that. Who give the loans up? Who own the land? Yo, who take the throne man? Put it in the hands of these weak mind men. Measurement to mass awareness. Take a Euro man faces God. They go to frame it. They play with the amen. Lock up the setback. These blocks are a racetrack. Who trying to take back rights? Sounds for the mic and the spotlight. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice be the insight. Trying to take flight, but the vultures trying to get me. Wanna sail out tonight if you bout it, ride with me. Deserve to see the world, so I'ma take it. Chances for divine transformation, I pay it. Forward for the ones who didn't make it. I'm coming for the taking. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want. Break it through. 1, 2. This is a harmonic beat.
L's hot but get cold in this winter. My earth takes a break, quake cities up. The cliff down, deep sea into mountain, continental shift. The continent could drown.
This is the home industry.
L's hot, but get cold when it's winter. My earth takes a break, quake cities off the cliff down, deep sea into mountain, continental shift. The continent could drown, a rip, there's more. Think not, you don't know what I'm into, where I'm at. It's all in the mental, snap all instrumental around me. It's all about my circle squared up for my nature. Fear not, love bravery, am I didn't make her. She made me to create the world, the home she in, shape a skin, container, frame, no minor. She a major win, angel and grew up educated on the demons, veiny, scaly wings, major paper bullshit, the mother for that. Got nothing to fact, Negro black colored, on the chopping block, still on the block, chopping whatever they rap, rob, recover the chop, the world's shaking. Still my words, you take it in, hear me speaking out your ear holes. How can you retain a quote? Stop, your brains bang, shot, but still you won't crow. Commander in chief, masters turn sheep at the battle, and stay chattel to eat, and wool from my white beats. At times a werewolf, they attack me and turn food towards the garden. Cold water make a black sea. Black hair, black coat, black blue. Black fish, black ball, black shoes. Black bill, black cheese, black news. It's no such thing as black man. Black bill, black coat, black blue. Black fish, black ball, black shoes. Black bill, black cheese, black news. But no such thing as a black man. Roses all red, green, gun copper, shot, pop, bust, and he left, didn't leave no weeds, no seeds. I'm his skull and his backbone, ripped with his voice tone. Moms are saying a heartbeat, consanguinity though. Constant board fights, I was civil. I get you with my pen, no more dog fights, a scribble. Enforcing treaties, I'm a caustic greedy, dressed in costumes to greet me. You think you know how this gon' end, really? Show the beginning. Apocalypse now, L. The dead don't know about the living. And why I can't kill them? Why I try to lift them? Stand, more master don't make you a bigger man. It's mental. Just keep going. Black hair, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black shoes. Black pill, black cheese, black news. It's just such thing as a black man. Black pill, black black blue, black fish, black ball, black shoes, black fish, black cheese, black news, but no such thing as a black man.
Young offender on the grid. I've been doing a bit since a little kid. Then it was the adult side. I lose my respect if I let it slide. Then it slid. I kept my flow hid, and the words don't skid. With respect to the house, here's a piece on me. If you want to leave calmly, while they're busy smoking, I'm easy roping with the hot blood wide open. It jaws wasn't joking. Pop your lids unless you really want to live. Stop the fits with one less ribs. Engineering anonymous. Is it preposterous? They could doctor us. Is it ancient chemist or is it just genetic? All I get is aesthetic. 2 million years of history, just forget it. If you let it, don't you dare ruin your credit as I stare at your social club, you swear. A supreme being intervened. It was something green. I didn't know how to adjust the screen. Second look, it was just as clean. Dust a fiend with some muscle cream. Let her know this is not a dream. My flow is the stream to the most pristine. You never seen this like me.
The rhyme pattern and design so intricate. You'll never see the sign, so here's a kick. But don't F around with mine or the syndicate. You straight stay in line or the stink again. Like you on a landmine in the sinking pit. It's not just the music, only stick like shit. You see right through your phony, you counterfeit. Pass a piece of Fronto, wanna roll a split. Where I'm from in Toronto, all we know is flip. Firm grip, under grip, gotta hold his hip. All we know is down low and loading kicks. I just rep the G code, being new to this. Don't let me get it beast mode, metamorphosis. Yo, we got the street zone, no forcefulness. And all the ether zone, call me Morpheus. Find our way home, Morpheus. No scissors ain't comb, no God's need us. Blood and bone, muscle tissue, form feed us. And we never on our own, Allah feeds us.
I keep the roping, I'm eloping. Well spoken, here's the token. Genuine, no joking. And if I pause, my mind is in motion. Who's up next for the smoking while I'm bearing arms and steady towing a brain load of weaponry, ready to expose it. The stories of all lies, I got the man secure the hostess. Many want to boast it and run game and then revoke it. You better off dead. The majority is voted. I post playing, giving you a dosage. The punchline is potent, knocking niggas out like the closest. Coming from the rats and the roaches. Many want to say they the one who came the closest to royalty and fame, and as the president approaches, acknowledge what my name is and claim an island off the coast. Yes, my chronology is most best. Floating like a locust, I'm heavy in the streets. Take notice, I've arrived at the chance for me to blow this.
I'm giving up my slang name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name. I'm giving up my slang name. I'm giving up my slang name. I'm giving up my slang name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name. I'm giving up my slang name. I'm giving up my slang name. I'm giving up my slang name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name. I'm giving up my slang name. I'm giving up my slang name.
Still think it's not about being Moors? Moors the only one that tell you give up that slave name. You know, conscious people telling you that they're on some BS. Only Moors are telling you. Not do that just on YouTube or on Facebook or on Instagram. Do that in real. Give up that slave name. The slave is Slavic, and you're not Slavic. If you say you're consciously African and all black and all that. Don't forget, this is the same one who produced the Nas album that nobody's talking about. Nas came out and told you. Period. Put out the album, clothing line, just to promote the album, but he got Circle 7 on it, pyramid with the scimitar on it, Moorish nationality card, handshake on it. You still playing dumb? It's okay, you can play dumb. It's quite all right to play dumb. Don't play dumb around Moors, though.
Those who believe that we are from the tribe or lineage of Moab, and you know, they was practicing the Islam, you know, and other different things, you know. But pretty much the Moors were Israelites who were, you know, saying that they was Moors. Okay, now you have like a lot of Moors who have the last, you know, they have L, you know, EL on the end of their name, and don't understand that the EL, well, they understand that, you know, it means God or power, you know. When you go into the scriptures, you have, you know, like Israel, L is Allah in the scriptures, which means power. Okay, Israel, he is a prince of power. Okay, Daniel, Allah. Okay, my power is judge. Okay, and then you got Samuel, Joel, you know, and Ezekiel. Okay, and so on and so forth. So a lot of you know, the Moors, you know, they don't understand that you know, when it comes down to these scriptures, that we understand these scriptures, man. Us here at Great Millstone. Now, I want to get this scripture because a lot of the Moors like to sit up there and say that they are their own sovereign state, you know, and basically.
All right, hold on. So let's just deal with the L first. And we'll just go to abarimpublications.com. ABARIM-publications.com. The name L in the Bible. Name L in the Bible. L is generally accepted shortened form of Elohim, the genus God. Just click Elohim, see where that goes. Elohim is one of the three divine names by which the Creator is known as He creates. The creation account is probably the most difficult and most enigmatic passages in the Bible. It starts at the beginning and it doesn't really end. There are three stages upon which the creation unfolds. The first stage stretches from Genesis. During this period, God is known as Elohim. He is known as Yahweh Elohim. The third stage starts around Noah's cycle and flows into Abraham's cycle. Abraham, after all, was the first to believe and became not only a new creation, but also the first of a new continuum of new creations. During this stage, God is known as the Bar Yahweh, or Word of God. Elohim is a plural word, which is peculiar because God is one. Deuteronomy 6:4. Still, the singular form of the word Elohim is Eloah, and that form is used frequently in the Bible as well. In between these sits the construct form that is the plural form without the final, Elohai, and indicative of a rudimentary genitive, Eloah of, or God of, or gods of. The etymology of both these terms is generally deemed uncertain, but most likely they come from a root which probably had to do either with being strong or else with leaping, perhaps not like the verb. Leading, perhaps not like the verb. Let's go back to L. The way we here at Abraham Publications understands it is that the word El is either the common Canaanite word for God or a specific deity named such. When the Elohimite cult was introduced in the region, the name Elohim was formed independent of the word El, or name El. When the reference of Israelite God Elohim intended to be abbreviated to serve as an element in names, for instance, the result was a second word El, or name El, which was indistinguishable from the first one. So the Israelites are the branch of the Canaanites. If there was no Canaanite, there would be no Israelite. Just based on L. Forget everything else that they talk about. Just based on L only. And then don't forget, in his own words, Hebrew Israelite guy said that L is Allah. So if L is Allah, and Moorish say, Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my guide, my protector, my salvation, by night and by day, to his holy prophet, noble Drew Ali. Islam. And then they said Allah in it. And then L comes from the Canaanites, and noble Drew Ali said that Moorish descendants of the ancient Canaanites. It's obvious these people are playing games with your dumb ass. Why is it so hard to get the point? That's good. It's just remind you. Yeah.
I'm giving up my slave name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name. I'm giving up my slave name.
So we gave up the BS. We said that we're El, Bay, some say Day, some say Al, some fakers say that their name's Ali. There's only one Ali as far as America is concerned, and that's Noble Drew Ali. So those 5 titles of nobility, the L one, there's documented proof that it goes back to at least the Canaanites and the ancient Canaanites. Wherever you want to go after that, it's up to you. But at least we know that Noble Drew Ali gave us a reference point to see if we're intelligent and we think, him presenting that as one of our titles of nobility means he's talking about some Elohim is our descendants. Forget some Canaanites. Descendants of Elohim. Playing like they're something else. Playing that they're too incompetent to deal with reality. You could say whatever about him. Kanye. Say whatever. But honestly, him for one, saying that slavery is some BS, and 2, for saying out of his mouth, give up the slave name. But of course, you're not gonna, because when your favorite whoever got the award, he went and jacked the mic and said, F all you guys, you're BS. This is who won? F all you guys. It's your favorite whatever. So, he's blacklisted now. It's real interesting that after you hit the wall with these people, marrying foolish people and all that stuff to try to whatever, and still doesn't work. Kill your mom, still doesn't work. Do all this BS, bend over backwards, no Vaseline, all that. And they're still playing games with you? Of course, F these people and do your own independent whatever. Because as far as industry and making it and all that BS, it's over. Kanye produced the whole Nas album. Crazy guy. He's telling you about give up the slave name. Nas telling you about he's Othello the Moor. They showed you right there. By both of them working together, they showed you. They give a slave name and then you claim your true status. Why he used that reference? Because he knows everybody knows Othello. You might not have heard that the actual name of it is Othello the Moor of Venice. But he knows everybody knows about of all the Moors that he could name. He named Othello. El again. Canaanites, Elohim, and all that. Othello the Moor. But it's still too advanced, huh? Like it's still too advanced. That basic breakdown is too advanced. You still don't get it.
That means you know, that you're able to govern yourself, you know. Now I'm gonna get this scripture, Ezekiel 28 and 9. It says, "Will thou yet say before him that slay you, I am God?" You know, and what did we say? El is Allah. You know, when you say before him, you know, I am, you know, Tariq El Bay, you know, whatever the hell their name may be, you know, are you going to say that before him that slay you, I am God? But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slay you, you know? So
if God is El and man is claiming to be El, wouldn't that mean that man just made him and God one? Which is the whole point of the scriptures? But nah, everybody wants to break something down and make it some advanced BS. We already put up the clip today of Lil Yusuf handling his own affairs. F this school. Like, school sucks because I'm light years ahead of these Negro, black, colored, poor whites, whatever up in here. Hispanics, Latinos, whatever. I'm light years ahead of these people. I mean, put me in university now. Let me see if you guys are really who you say you are. Let me apply to some university and get in. Let me apply to some music. Because if you got the red ink with the excellent, then from the teacher, get the 7 a.m. call home. 7 a.m. You think people aren't handling their own affairs, calling themselves Moors out here? That teacher that works for the public school system, part of the city and the whatever, that these people say, I recognize the Moors, and when are you going to recognize the Moors? How can we recognize the Moor? Little Moor told them, we're Moors. I don't know all this BS you guys got on this stuff you got homework or whatever. But I'm giving up the slave name, scratch that out, put title, and then put his title in there. Bait. That's just who I am. I'm 10. I'm a babe. That's what it is. Teacher now gets his work with all these, right? Because remember, like, if they ask for the name, even though they're not adults, that's a contract because he's signing by putting his name on it. And he's of the intelligence, 10 years old. We can't even get people who are of age of majority to accept these facts. And this 10-year-old had a contract that he got from his teacher. Going through the contract. Name. Oh, sorry, can't do that. Scratch that out. Title. Put his appellation in there. Some BS. Scratch that out. Moors. Question 3. The colonial BS. Scratch that out. We are Moors. Aboriginal and indigenous to North America, South America, Central America, adjoining islands, etc. There's all this pyramids and different pictures. Who made these and say which culture made whichever one? No. We're Moors. We're the founders of civilization. Then that would mean we made everything. We are the Moors. We made all of this stuff. Teacher gets the stuff. Now let's think about the teacher now. Let's think about the teacher marking the papers. Johnny comes up or whatever. Name, nothing, whatever. Just Johnny, all written messed up. You know. Who is Christopher Columbus? Oh, he founded the whatever, and he's the he's the These pictures here, pyramids and Colosseum and Greeks, Romans, and he gets his little check marks. Good job. Put it on the side. Jose comes up now. No, didn't even put his name on it, but I know this is his because his writing is horrible. Who's his parents? Yeah. Go through the stuff. All right. Can't fail him. So we'll just say, good job, needs some work. Oh, I wonder what Yusuf has in store today. Let's see. Oh, scratch that name. Oh, where's the wine at? Honey, did you get me the bottle of the stuff in the... Yeah, the big glass. Moors are the... Oh, boy, here we go. You know what? I'm not even going to go through this. Excellent. Oh, Lisa. Honey, bring 2 bottles. Goes to bed happy because she already knows this is real interesting. Got the best sex that night too. So she comes now, wakes up in the morning. He really said that he really scratched name out? Honey, let me know what you think. Could you read this? Let me know what you think about this. So, you know, Europeans, they have the perfect relationship stuff, you know what I mean? They don't have baby mama drama and stuff like that. So he's gonna take it and he's gonna read it, you know, like the good honey and all that stuff, you know. Also, remember all the stuff, founders of civilization, all the stuff they got from us or whatever. Using our stuff. He's 10? He wrote this? Nah, his parents helped him. His parents had to help him. No, he's really, you know, we've had some very interesting conversations or whatever. I don't know. What do you think? What you guys gonna put him up a grade or what are you gonna do? I don't know. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do. The principal doesn't even want the dad to come. Oh, it's a spectacle when they come to school or whatever. What do you mean? They got fezzes and turbans and it's just it's like a dream come true. It's like Cinderella or something. It's just absolutely amazing when they show up. And they never show up for anything bad. I know, it's kind of interesting. Even though when he does stuff bad, it's kind of like you could kind of do it because, you know, he gets 100 plus. Like, what are we going to do if he does something bad? What are we really going to do to him? Okay, honey. See you later. Make sure you pick up the stuff. Another bottle of the thing. We have more tester. And then, you know, she's realizing that what's wrong with Yusuf? He's not the same. Why is Yusuf so reserved? He used to be putting his hand up and stuff like that. Of course. Maybe something's wrong at home. Maybe it's you know, start doing the black whatever. All right. Maybe he didn't take his. You know what I was on her mind all night. I mean, he's hot. She's not giving him any because she just, you know, something's wrong with Yusuf. She just goes to sleep. He's mad. Then 7 a.m. before work, before everything. Didn't even sleep good that night. Calls home. 7 a.m. Teacher for the city that works for the school, part of the school board, part of the United States, whatever, with President Trump and all that. 7 a.m. Called home. Because Yusuf said school sucks. 10. Mastered that. Why? Because of Moors, not because of some Hebrew Israelite reading the Bible BS. Not because of some ancient Kemetic yoga BS. From knowing about his nationality and his birthrights at 10. God, these people don't even know what the hell to do. Now imagine all the children were like that. Imagine instead of them being little niggers like their parents are niggers. Imagine they knew about their nationality and birthrights. Like little brother Yusuf knows about his birthrights at 10. You want to say Moors aren't doing anything? You say Moors aren't recognized? What do you mean? 10-year-old put Bay on his paper in school. Got excellent. What do you mean they don't recognize the Moors? What do you mean? What temple is he part of? He part of no goddamn temple. You don't got no card for no temple. He's a member in that. You know, Supreme Grand Body or Supreme Grand Council or whatever vouch for him to put Bay on the paper. He did that. You'll recognize the Moors. You man got excellent on his stuff. What do you mean we don't have sovereignty? You tell me that's not sovereignty he just exercised? Like, yo, I'm not in you guys' jurisdiction. The hell are you talking about? Name. What name you talking about? Oh, you guys forgot? Let me just remind your ass again. You forgot.
I'm giving up my slave name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name.
That's your good. He's mad. Your man's mad. Look at his face. He's mad. Oh, he wants to just hit him with that bottle.
I'm giving up my slave name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name. I'm giving up my slave name. I'm giving up my slave name. I'm giving up my slave name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name. I'm giving up my slave name. I'm giving up my slave name.
Right? Don't forget. So you already know by bringing little brother Yusuf Bey's homework that says excellent on it would mean that we can use that as evidence against anybody saying that we're not Moors. Anybody saying that they don't recognize that we're Moors. How about you man's homework? They got excellent. You see Bay right there? How come they didn't say he can't cross out name? How come he didn't get wrong for that? X. How come his stuff didn't just have X's all over? No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like how these people act when we present Moors to them. He present Moors to his teacher, 10 years old, and teacher gave him excellent. We tell people grown-ups that they're Moors, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Nothing. Those are the ones that Drew Ali warned you about. The ones that are going to play games with you, 10-year-old, repping that he's a Moor. Find me a Hebrew Israelite 10-year-old with a test with excellent. Find me a Kemetic one. Find me a Black Power one. Find me a, who else is left? Any of them. We're saying excellent across the board, and then that the teacher is calling the home to tell the parent that their son is bored in school because all he gets is hundreds in everything, every class, hundreds. Find me the black guy or the black whatever that has a child that's on it like that. Make them make a video about it and put that on the record. Let's see. And then all the Moors whose children they're gonna get hundreds, you make something. How your offspring is stand up on their national birthrights, and they're not getting any issues from their teacher. They're not getting any pushback. They're not getting any, you can't work. You're not a Moor. What's the name on the birth certificate that you have? I know you have a birth certificate because you're a U.S. citizen, you're a Canadian citizen, so you have to have a birth certificate. So we want that name. You don't want a name that you're giving me. What do you mean? But Yusuf Bey right here, 10 years old. Like, isn't this proof that there's no issue? What? How come you got an issue with Moors? Not only having an issue with Moors, but having an issue with our people being Moors and proclaiming that they're that. Declaring for the record that they're that.
So the thing is, right, when you boil it all down, you Moors, you don't understand prophecy, man, because you don't have no prophecies, you know? Where are the prophets? Okay, we're not talking about no honorable prophet, of the Quran and so on and so forth. We're talking about, straight up, prophets that actually had prophecies that came to pass. Where are your prophecies at, man? What's the word prophecy means to say before? Okay? See, you people like to sit up there and say all our people are Moors, but that's not the truth, man. That's not the truth, man. The Moors came into power or recognition around, like, I believe the 11th century, if I'm not mistaken, and until about the 17th, and when you go into it, the Moors, they pretty much civilized, the so-called white race, the Caucasians. Okay, they taught them how to bathe, so on and so forth. Which, once again, I said that the Moors were Israelites.
No. That was a good try, though. The Moors can't be Israelites if the Israelites are Canaanites. So just go back to your foremothers and forefathers and stop playing games. Go back to your foremothers and forefathers and stop playing games. Just stop playing games. Honor thy father and thy mother. Canaanites are your father, Israelites. Stop playing. Israelites are Moors. Israel. El is Canaanite. Israelite. If you're an Israelite and El is a title that comes from Canaanites, then the hell do you mean you're not Moors? The hell do you mean that you're not Moors? It's like armed robbery for the people's minds right now. And the only way that they can get some whatever is mentioning Moors. Because they already know that all you got is BS. Not doing anything to raise the vibration of the people so that their conditions could change. Like how Moors are doing. Like we're saying, a 10-year-old has evidence. A 10-year-old has evidence that we're Moors. Right? And it's not about Moors running from, answering certain people's questions or whatever. But like we're taught, if your mindset is that you don't have a nationality and you don't need one, then any question you ask is going to be colored. You're never going to ask an intelligent question. And instead of you checking yourself for asking a dumbass question that answers itself, you're going to get mad at Moors. Don't get mad at Moors. Go prove the facts that Moors present wrong. Prove that wrong. Don't try to prove Moors wrong. Because Moors are exercising who they are. They're not just saying that they're something and then only in front of a camera they're that. Because they went somewhere, did a lecture, they're that. Our existence as Moors is something that had to be properly managed because of the mind state of our people. And we always use what Noble Ali presented as a reference so that we can see everything that he gave us to save a nation is just sitting there. And all we have to do as Moors is to be what it is that was left for us to carry out, because it's already imprinted. There's already an impression made. So this is out of the Moorish literature. Think this over, you Moors. All sheikhs, grand sheikhs must prepare for the Prophet before he comes to visit them. Must see to it that all is clean and in perfection as far as comfort is possible, or otherwise don't arrange to have his presence. Right? Those are the standards that we're to live to. That replace sheikhs, grand sheikhs, etc. with Moorish nation. And replace Prophet with your brother or sister. So if you're not going to prepare for your brother or sister to make sure that when they check you, everything is comfortable for them, then you shouldn't arrange to have their presence, because they are you. So given the best that we would give to the Prophet, if we give that to each other, the ones on the mindset that realize what this is, That is going to be the foundation for 10-year-old coming up. So they now can see the clean perfection and how comfortable it is for them to exercise their birthright, which he's doing at 10 years old. No negative feedback saying that you're a Moor from your teacher. All members should pay from 25 cents to 50 cents weekly toward the emergency fund. This fund will increase so that it will soon amount to a grand sum of $1,000. That is, if you are loyal Moors. But again, shout out to the Moors that are loyal. To the Moors that do compensate, whether it's energy or finance, so that there can be some type of grand sum that the Moors will have at their disposal as Moors. The emergency fund goes into the bank. The treasurer will tend to the responsibility of seeing that money is in the bank. Yes, and under the name of Moorish Science Temple of America Finance. Moorish Science Temple of America Finance. Now think about this back then. And what was supposed to have been done so that there would be something today. When needed, act according to the law pertaining the procedure of performing an emergency act. Right? Hence, emergency fund. No head of any said temple is to borrow from any member more than $5 to $10 unless by notification of the prophet. The necessity for the loan. When any said temple desires to purchase property, they must first notify the grand body or the prophet, and it must be purchased under the name Moorish Science Temple of America or Noble Drew Ali. For all the Moors that I want to do, and I got to get a charter because the temple is how Noble Drew. When any said temple desires to purchase property, they must first notify the grand body or the prophet, and it must be purchased under the name of the Moorish Science Temple of America or Noble Drew Ali. An individual name should never be applied. I, Noble Drew Ali, am responsible for all finance, so therefore let I, the prophet, know what is on me. Some of you have slipped and slipped drastically. Now remember, this is February 29. So this is months before the assassination. He's calling them out. Months before the assassination, he starts calling out people. The people who slipped and slipped drastically. we keep stressing the point that when you see mausoleums for reincarnated prophets, and you see Moorish this and that after Noble Drew Ali transition, if the activity was not of a civic and constitutional nature, uplifting our people and being what it is that we know as Allah in man and woman, if we weren't being these things, then this wasn't where we were supposed to be. We were supposed to take responsibility with what Noble Drew Ali left for us. And people avoided that responsibility in order to deal with their selfish gain, just like they're doing today, to push their agenda. Why would you even have an agenda if you're about for the upliftment of the people? That's the agenda. Some of you have slipped and slipped drastically. So you had better lace up your shoes before I get there. Everything, every business transaction or anything pertaining to finance is to be transacted in the name of the Moorish Science Temple of America or Noble Drew Ali. We Moors must maintain a grand treasurer. A grand treasurer. Just as in the days of our forefathers. Then you are a nation. Until then, you are nothing. The emergency fund is issued by no book, but by an emergency card punched according to contribution, then marked on book. That is the law, and the law must live. The government is behind me, and I must get behind you. The government is behind him. He's not talking about some U.S. He's talking about the people. Because he is a direct representative of them to the rest of the world. And he's getting behind you sleepy-headed Moors. He's getting behind you Moors who think this is about some people on YouTube. And you got 10-year-old exercising their nationality and birthrights. For I must uphold and enforce the law. My mission is to save you Moors. Noble Drew Ali's mission is to save us Moors. If we're Moors, why would we have to be saved? Because, not because you say you're Moors means that it's activated. This must be activated within you before you can be who and what you are. The heads of all temples, grand sheikhs, and Grand Sheikhs must conform to the divine principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They must live the life among the members and be loved even as the Prophet is loved. They must not practice the principle of segregation among any group in his or her temple. Let it be he or she that is head of any temple of the Moorish Science Temple of America, that if there should come any grievance that cannot be settled by the head, notify the Prophet at once. No member is to attend Adab chamber that has not lived a moral and clean life, and has not paid his or her dues or assessments, providing that he or she is working or able. Working? I thought Moors aren't supposed to work. I thought Moors aren't supposed to work. I thought Moors weren't supposed to do something. Moors are supposed to just sit around and say, put something in the Senate transfer. That's for them personally. That's supposed to be going into some pot. In hopes so that Moors could have something for themselves. If they say that they're Moors, you can't make claims that you're adept if you're not paying your dues or assessments, providing that you are working and able. Cannot consider himself a Moor. So if you don't pay your dues, you can't even consider yourself a Moor. This is the Prophet speaking. This is Noble Drew Ali speaking. You cannot consider yourself a Moor if you're not living a moral and clean life, if you're not paying your dues and assessments, providing that he or she is working or able. If you're not able, then okay, you get a pass. But if you're able to do what you can for the upliftment of your people through these more related avenues of getting this information of our birthright and nationality out to our people, then you can't even consider yourself a Moor. But traders must be excluded from the books after having a fair trial by the head of their temple, and that must be sent into the grand body. And all members that are able to subscribe towards the uplifting fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. And those that are able and fail to act are not Moors, but traitors to the cause and trust and their nation, and are not allowed to share in all the Moorish honors. All those that are able and fail to act are not Moors, but traitors to the cause and trust and their nation. And don't think that this is limited to some temple because we're talking about Noble Drew Ali and Moorish literature. Because Noble Drew Ali just said that these Moors are traitors to the nation. the nation is not just Moorish Science Temple of America members. The nation includes Moorish Science Temple of America members. So don't let this Moorish Science Temple of America talk fool you. He knew that that was a corporation to be used with this corporate de facto corporation that is taking over, that have veiled the people to the point of they can't even see it happening in their face. So let me set up this religious corporation so at least these Moors could stand on enforcing the Constitution with these people trying to violate them, or who will attempt to try to violate them under the guise of all these different stuff that we got today, BIE and whatever else. To get people to think that, oh, Moor is negative, but Brother Yusuf Bey's, little Brother Yusuf Bey's teacher didn't bring up any BIE when he said that he's a Moor and that we are Moors. She didn't go to any Southern Poverty Law Center slander campaign literature and tell him that he can't say that he's a Moor. He can't say that he's a Bey because that's Turkish. Teacher didn't say that. Teacher didn't say, you're black. You're not a Moor. No argument from the teacher. Zero. Zero. And the penalty, it is embezzlement of the faith of our creed. All heads of all temples must observe these laws. So don't let them think as Moors that certain things that Noble Drew Ali didn't present wasn't law. If he's telling Moors they must observe these laws, then that means Noble Drew Ali must have taught law. He had to have been teaching law. You have to also put something on the record. Also put something on the record. Make sure you go out and check. Make sure you go out and check khalifamedia.com. khalifamedia.com and pick up Moors in America, a compilation by Sister Tahida L. and Victor Taylor L. for the education and enlightenment of the Moorish American community, Moors in America. It's very obvious that people are jacking energy right now because they realize that the best way to keep a people enslaved is to keep them in confusion, not knowing what's what. So we want to put it on the record. 2014, copyright. Khalifa Media Productions, a Moorish manufacturing company. 2014, Moors in America has been around. And you can't jack energy without giving honors to where you're jacking the energy from. So it's no different than dirty Moors out here that tell people and teach people about Moors and all that stuff, but won't tell the people who they're teaching how they got it. They just stick to the point of they got it. Like, there's people today sticking to the point that they're Moors in America. They're not Moors in America. Moors in America is the 2014 publication by Khalifa Media, educating and enlightening the Moorish American community, because Noble Wali told these Moors to make sure that they have publication. So Sister Tahida Naji Ula L started a publication company, Khalifa Media, and started publishing literature for Moors, khalifamedia.com. This is the origin of the concept of Moors in America among our people today. This was the first real compilation of Moors in America, and called that. Page 43, Digging for the Red Roots. Mahir Abdal Razak L. I am a Muslim from the Cherokee Blackfoot American Indian community. I am also known as Eagle Sunwalker and serve as a pipe carrier warrior for the Northeastern Band of Cherokee Indians in New York City. There are other Muslims in our group. Many people are not aware of the Native American contact with Islam that began more than 1,000 years ago by some of the early Muslim travelers who visited us. Some of them lived among our people. Most Muslims and non-Muslims are not aware of this fact and have never seen it mentioned in any history books. Many documents, treaties, legislation, and resolutions passed between 1600s and the 1800s show that Muslims were in fact here and were very active in their communities. The Peace and Friendship Treaty, signed on the Delaware River in the year 1787, bears the signatures of Abdel Kak and Muhammad ibn Abdullah. This treaty details our continued right to exist as a community in the areas of commerce, maritime shipping, and our form of government, which at that time was in accordance with Islam. Now, this is a Cherokee talking. According to a federal court case from the Continental Congress, we helped put the breath of life into the newly framed Constitution. All of the documents are presented in the National Archives as well as the Library of Congress. If you have access to records in the state of South Carolina, read the Moors Sundry Free Act, 1790. In a future article, inshallah, I will go into more details about the various tribes, their languages, and the influence of Arabic, Persian, and Hebrew words on some of their languages. Almost all of the tribes' vocabulary includes the word Allah. The traditional dress code for Indian women includes the kima and long dresses. For men, the standard fare is turbans and long tops that come down to the knees. If you read any of the old books on Cherokee clothing up to 1832, you will see the men wearing turbans and the women wearing long head coverings. The last Cherokee's chief, 1866, had a Muslim named Ramadan ibn Wati. Cities across the United States and Canada bear names that are of Indian and Islamic derivation. Have you ever wondered what the name Tallahassee means? It means He, Allah, will deliver you sometime in the future. In Cherokee, we refer to ourselves as Ani Getwagi, or I am a township person. More cities and descendants of Muslims are among American Indians. Right? Moors in America. The original Moors in America. The official Moors in America. Do not go for imposters. Go to Khalifa Media and get the book Moors in America. That was on the record 2014. Moorish Cherokees. One Cherokee who moved west in 1829 was one of America's most honored Indians, Sequoyah. He was intrigued with the white man's ability to write. So after 12 years of experimenting and study, Sequoyah created an 86-letter syllabary of the Cherokee language. This alphabet was so efficient it could be learned in less than a month and became the standard means of communication for the Cherokee Sequoyah home is still standing near Sallisaw. Noble Juali, through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. This is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America, who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. The gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing? Oh, yeah.
I'm giving up my slave name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name. I'm giving up my slave name. I'm giving up my slave name. Saying you don't really need a last name. No, you don't really need a last name. I'm giving up my slave name. I'm giving up my slave name.
Peace and love, Moors. Islam to all Moors worldwide. Peace and love. You already know what's up. Stay true to what you know, because there's a lot of people trying to confuse out here. And when certain people go live and you check the chat, it's supposed to be actually real Moors who are down with the BS. Just go check some of the chats and see who's up in there. And know that those are names that you've seen that talk certain ways, but then they're siding with the jokers, the fakers. They're going to call themselves introducing and explaining some Moorish paradigm and not mention Hakeem Bey. Sellouts. You can't mention the term Moorish paradigm and not mention Hakeem Bey. And if you don't, you're a sellout. Not because you upload one of his videos means that you rep him. Watch these sellouts out here. Watch them. Because they're really about playing. And either you get down with the real or be played. Lots of playing going on. 20 messages on the temple voicemail. 5 of them people played by people who claiming that they're Moors. Think they're not running gay money? They're running super gay money. But are you going to be the one that has some sense? Or are you going to be one of the dummies? Islam to all the Moors that got some sense out there. Peace and love to all the children that know that they're Moors and they're beating these people up. Good job. You keep it up. Keep it up. Islam to all.
Yeah. You know, we seek that higher knowledge. Only the ignorant can't relate. We just kill them with love instead of hate. That's what it's about.
We are Moors.
Shout out to the Grand Sheikh, Etymology of L, Iron Sheikh.
We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snapback, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Blue, white, green fairs, not just red. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Keep talking reckless and move these for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a Moor head. We are Moors.
20 Moors rockin', you could call them Moroccans. Racial West adepts, let's get it poppin'. Got a problem with my G? Got a problem with me. I be on the front line rolling 23 deep. I be studying for hours, 7 days a week, working on my higher self, cause the devil don't sleep. Big ups to Cujo L, that's the Iron Sheik. 7's up, facing the east, praising Allah. Astrology, cosmology, that's the real law. I slow roast ya, master the flame like Zoe Roaster. The rise of the new Moors, old heads move over. That Kundalini energy rising up like a cobra. This is training day, mount up with real soldiers. Elevate beyond the hate and claim your lost estate. The only reason you hate is you too blind to relate. The only reason you hate is you too blind to relate.
We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snapback, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said? On our head, it's a turban, no affairs. We are Moors. Heard what I said? He talking reckless and movies for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a more head. Stop talking crazy. You can't be everything but Moors. That's like willing to stay minority and not mature. Therefore, Tosh to be gay taught the world don't respect you. However, since you wanna be it, you go down when they fall. They, the ones you call government, that's really a corpse. Black man means funeral director. Should make sense, of course. Music is the food and the message, the medicine. Mumble food is poison. I'm with the golden era veterans like Mark D. Condolences, QB, RIP prodigy, who studied the history of the Moors and etymology. You missed the Corsica headband, disguised as a bandana. Moorish MC, the real Moroccan, not a French Montana. Kendrick Lamar, you Sarahite, trust me, Hebrew's a language. Lupe put Moors in his video, made the point vantage. Yassine Bey knows Sabebe, knows Moorish master MC. Fuquan Bey and Daddy IU are on some Moorish degrees. Sprague and Bojuno, they even killed Peter because of Macintosh. Still visit the global planets, hip-hop astronauts. Milky Way flow, rays of tassels, blind unbelievers. To higher than other senses, to still pick up the frequency. Pick your addiction, truth will still make itself known. To go platinum now, you gotta give up more plus your soul. Large professor built pyramids, I watch Drink Champ steady. Cause Nori said Drew Ali on a track, so call me petty. Also Marcy Moore exec produced the War Report album. Aboriginal Super Cat taught me how to hang and scalp them. Operation Lockdown, video feathers like I say to do. Initiate invasions, activate at doors every spook. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snap back, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Blue, white, green fairs, not just red. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Keep talking reckless and movies for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a more head. We are Moors. We are Moors. Heard what I said? We are Moors. Heard what I said? Heard what I said? Heard what I said? We are Moors. We are Moors. Yes, y'all, and discard them like blood trash. Active more Avengers, call that a hawk smash. Your conscious goon sniffling booze and role models. Won't accept facts and just quarrel. No 5 principles, of course, no profit. Facebook and YouTube names they won't have on the docket. They say go fund me, and when you go fund them and get robbed, I say I told you, don't fund them. Still won't listen and call yourself deaf. While most say middle, my path is right hand or left. Some say your culture think we worship Baphomet. We just Sufis with shrines for Muhammad. Offerings of fruit for oil and Oshun. If that won't work, we call in some Shangoons. Summon demons at the full blood and new moons. Mirror steel blade only escaped by a few coons. And those that escaped are on the run and stay running. Falling off the London Bridge or jumping. Nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Nobody beats the Moors. We studied from the masters, we know that's self-reloaded. From Moorish Empire books to hip-hop decoded. Before modern decoders, we studied A.A. Rashid, Conscious Ket Hemet, Beza Lim and Akeem. Moors border up the table round like common hat soul. We got degrees by the pound, stay uplifting humanity. We got Moors near Japan and lands nether, and even Afghanistan. On every Atlantis island, Moors you find them repping Moorish nation, not Turtle Island, when it's really a continent. Anybody saying True Ali's a myth incompetent, claiming black and Indian nonsense, then begging active Moors to help you out your consequence. We still let the hand, our first principle love, realize not a hand, just a stick in a glove. Nobody beats
Nobody beats the Moors.
Nobody beats
Nobody beats the Moors.
nobody beats
Nobody beats the Moors.
nobody beats
Nobody beats the Moors. On and on to the break of dawn. Many Negro black scholars coin tell pawns. Doing dirty work, keep you deaf and dumb with no love, truth, peace, justice, or freedom. Moors have returned called the ancient ones. We are the copper tone natives, not the Asian ones. Feathers up in turbans, Allah's patient sons. Key man escaped shots from Smith's agent guns. Or any quarter broke lands or ceased his plots. Not getting a slave name, talking to racist cops. Violating oaths of office and ethics. Never knew I was a Moor, thought I was synthetic. Stop being skeptic, suddenly apologetic. You shut down the psychological warfare methods. Active Moors, check it, see it as a lesson. Muftis will know their strength before the foes test it.
nobody beats
Nobody beats the Moors.
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 Nobody beats the Moors, nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Moors, nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Moors, nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Moors, nobody beats the Moors.